Welcome back to Cover Your Assets with Todd Rooker, Craig Nestor, Jason and Derek Walgrave, 855-835-8500. Now that's a number you can call to talk with the experts or to get your own copy of the Financial Crisis Bible. Now, guys, we have a free seminar giveaway, and I think this is really cool. That word is such a buzzword, you hear it, but this is not exactly just a cattle call to go somewhere.
We would love to be able to speak to you, and either that's your workplace or that's your church, or if you're in the military, be able to get this message into your hands so you can take advantage of these tactics and start forwarding your life financially. And if we can have access to you and you're really at your next sales meeting, or use us as a fundraiser or whatever that is, we'd love to talk to your company or your organization.
Yeah, this is something kind of different that we're offering. It's not your typical seminar where it's on a Tuesday night. Everyone can come to us, but we'll come to you. We'll come to your organization or church or whatever, like you said, Craig, and we'll do the seminar for a group of people, and that's something that we're offering.
I think that's a great idea. Now, Cover Your Assets, brand new show here. And one of the biggest things that we deal with here is how to avoid a financial crisis or how to deal with it if you're in one, Todd.
Well, how to avoid by the way, I got to say something. I love the Navy lead-in. Just so we're clear, I didn't orchestrate that, but Craig is third generation Marine Corps. I'm fourth generation Navy, and Marines are an attachment of the Navy. It is water after all, right? So anyhow, my brother just retired from the Navy, and I was in Special Forces in the Navy. So anyhow, had to get that out of the way. All right. So how to avoid one? There are a lot of things that a person can do that ensure that they're not going to be in this position. The first one and most important is to manage money properly. People who make good money tend to believe that the answer to every financial problem they've ever had is I'll just simply make more money. Self-employed people are always in that category. And people believe because they've never missed a payment in their lives, that means they know how to manage money. And the fact of the matter is, it's simply not true. I did budgeting, that is money management, last year for 38 CPAs who came to me and told me that they had enormous challenges managing their personal finances. I teach at Kaplan Professional School's continuing education to financial advisors, and I have a list of so many certified financial planners with 20 years of experience who need help managing their day-by-day personal finances, not because these aren't intelligent people, but because they manage assets. They don't manage day-by-day money, and that proves to be the most challenging thing and tends to be the reason that people wind up getting themselves into compromised financial positions. Having said that, nothing ever goes bad until it does, and then when it does, it's too late to do anything. So there is tremendous protection mechanisms that can be utilized prior to something going wrong, and it's a tremendous or amazing value if you understand how it works. One of the questions is going to be in here is how to use bankruptcy as a tool, and it really can be a tool when you understand the exempt assets afforded a person. I see people out there running around doing 1031 exchanges with real estate when, in fact, if they were managing that real estate within their qualified retirement accounts, that it would be protected. However, when you're in a financial crisis, it's too late to do anything about it. Had you done it prior to that, you would have had all of those assets protected, and if things do begin to go bad for you financially, nobody can touch those assets. So how to avoid a financial crisis by managing your money properly. Once you're in it, you now have to focus on what is important, how do I minimize the damage, and if I had certain things, if I'm trying to make a decision and I've got three things that are most important to me, you want to formulate a strategy? Real simple. If I say to you, tell me if you could only protect one. Yeah, but Todd, I don't want to just protect one. Yeah, listen, just do what I say. All right? If you could only protect one, which one would it be? And draw a circle around it. All right. If you could only protect two assets of the 3, 4, 5 that you've got, which two would they be? And if you could only protect 3, we just created contingency plan A, B, and C, and we build strategy out.
So one of those could be the house,
That's
and one
right.
of those could be retiring.
Absolutely.
What would the third one be?
Maybe it might be credit. It might be money that I've got set aside for my kids' education. There's a barrage of things, and that's why none of these situations are simple, and there's never pat answers to anything. You really have to take into account a lot of things. When a person comes to me, I have them fill out a 14-page discovery document. I want to know every asset that they own, everything that's licensed, registered, titled, insured, has been depreciated on taxes or put forth on a personal financial statement, because I want to look at everything and get a comprehensive picture. And then when they tell me the things that are most important to them, we can create contingency plan A, B, and C, and we've got fallback plans, and we know when to pull the trigger on the next move if this one doesn't work out.
Well, Kelly talks about how to avoid financial crisis and what to do when you're in one.
Right.
And Todd speaks about setting up and avoiding this and how to minimize the damage. That's great when we have the time. We would love it if they would come to us earlier. A lot of times that doesn't happen because they believe in their heart of hearts. If I keep paying all my bills, that's the right thing, especially in Minnesota. If I do the right thing long enough, good things will happen. And then they come to us, have exhausted all of their resources, exhausted all of their savings, all of their 401k plan, and really have no dry powder to navigate a financial crisis. I mean, I was working with a client this week, 6 months behind on their first mortgage, current on all their credit cards and on their second mortgage because they wanted to save their credit. Todd, speak to what bills to pay if we're already here.
Well, before I do that, it's interesting because when I use Craig because when we need time, we can buy time. When we're in a crisis and we've got a sheriff sale that is coming at us and it's a month away, we've got to buy ourselves more time to make strategic moves to get assets out of harm's way and to try to minimize that damage. So it is vitally important to know that that's how you can actually use his service to be able to do that. But if we're trying to minimize the damage, it's interesting because people will say, "Well, I haven't missed a payment yet." Yes, but they don't know enough about their own personal finances to realize that they're in a monthly burn rate, which is to say that they're spending more money than what they actually have to work with, which presupposes that they must, having not missed a payment yet, must be accessing some resource like a savings account or retirement account that's used to subsidize that payment each month. And they console themselves by saying they've not missed a payment, but the reality is they're exhausting this resource and they're drifting towards the rocks, but they console themselves because they haven't missed a single payment. Well, if they don't even know how much they're actually burning each month. And here's an interesting point. If I've got $5,000 left in a savings account and I'm in an upside down position to the tune of $500 per month, that means, well, look, I can divide that by 10 months and I've got 10 months before I completely run out of money. Actually, that's not true, because when people statistically are in a financial crisis and they feel like things are spinning out of control, they spend not less money on discretionary spending, but actually more. And they'll swear to God they're not doing it, but when you look at their finances, they do, which means that if you're not managing money, there's never been a time in your life when you need to be managing money better than when you're in a burn rate drifting towards the rocks.
And see, you just hit that, Todd. A lot of people don't think they have enough money to manage, and that's what's so incorrect, right?
Correct.
That's why a plan is so vital. And Todd speaks to this in the seminars with the one-on-one coaching he provides. We call it the fall and rise again. The fall and rise again of the American homeowner. So depending on where you're at, we're now going to take the prosperity triangle and flip it upside down because it is the fall and rise again of the American homeowner. And let's look, how do we get you down safely? Is it bankruptcy? Is it deed in lieu? Is it loan mod? Is it short sale? Can we manage our way through this? And then where is the soft landing? Are we going to be able to land in our own house and make a payment that's affordable there? Or should we downsize with a plan? And let's get you safe. And then we got to rebuild your credit and make sure that you have a power budget that you can see your future and power budget towards that. And then get you investing money, saving money, building your future, and get you back to $2,005. So we have a plan to manage the fall and rise again of the American homeowner, regardless of where you're at. Come and see us. Call the show, 855-835-8500.
Financial Crisis Bible is a great resource to get started to really learn a lot more about money. I think that there's so many things. Todd, you said something very telling a minute ago. You talked about a bunch of CPAs coming to you. And why are you different than a financial planner?
Well, look, financial planning, given that I've been in the industry for 25 years, concerns itself with the management of money because simply if there's no asset to manage, there's no money to be made. And that's not a slight against anybody. But look, if there is no money to work with, then there's no money to be made. And it isn't that they don't want to save the world, but they're not going to have anything to work with. So the reality is that the money that it takes to actually work with in the first place is what they're focused on. My goal is to help a person get money to work with so that they manage their money properly and they've actually got something there. So day-by-day money management typically gets lost in the financial planning business because we're looking at rolling money, your 401k and what have you. But you've got to get there at some point as well. And that's day-by-day money management. So that's what makes me different. And the financial advisors manage the money. Accountants account for things after they've already happened, which is to reconcile in arrears. But controlled spending throughout the course of the month, that's lost on people, and that's what I help them do.
And that's what we do here at Cover Your Assets. Todd Rooker, Jason Walgrave, Derek Walgrave, Craig Nestor, great job in your first week out. We'll be back next Saturday morning right here on The Patriot. The number to reach us all week long is 855-835-8500. That's 855-835-8500. CoverYourAssets21.com is also available for you 24/7. CoverYourAssets21.com. Congratulations, gentlemen. Nice job. We'll be back at you next week.
See you next week.